We're good. Awesome. All right. So as you guys jump on, make sure you say hi. Let me know that you are there. Taking a slightly different approach for today's session because I want to do a bit of a recap and kind of run through from start to finish those 5 steps that we've been going through this week, just to check in on how it's going. I'm really hoping that a heap of you can join live because I'm hanging around to do Q&A at the end of this session. And so all of the questions that have come up for you while you've been doing the challenge and while you've been going through the content, and it might have brought up other things in your business as well, or you might actually be wondering how this would work in your business and how you could consistently implement it. There'll be, I imagine, lots of questions coming up for you. So I would love to be able to address those for you. So please hang around until the end, and I will also be sharing a special offer with you, which I'm really excited about. I know that it's super valuable, and so I just want to talk about that with you as well. And there are some bonuses available only on this call today. So that is my plan. So 5 days to your next 1K. This challenge is all about getting to a point where you've got growth that you can count on in your business and having some systems in place to be able to do that reliably. And so what that means is recapping on the challenge steps and having ensuring that you're comfortable with the basics, the simple outline of what needs to happen, so that you can rinse and repeat that over and over in your business. And then from a day 5 perspective, we'll obviously be doing the training for day 5, so getting your marketing mojo on and talking about what that actually means and how you can get through that daily action, which is the final one that you've got for this challenge, as well as what's next. So how do you take this and make it happen? Some of you may have been putting things into place already during the week, and if you have been, way to go. That's absolutely amazing. I'm super impressed with you. But many of you have probably been doing the planning as you've gone and wondering how to take that next step. And often, actually, honestly, it's just about a little bit of bravery and some mindset. And so we'll talk a little bit about that today as well. So I wanted to give you a little bit more about me today because I haven't done a lot of that. And some of you are from my group, so you would have maybe heard bits and pieces of my story. I am a business coach and I work with professional mums, and I am really passionate about helping my clients grow businesses that really work for their lives and are actually getting them towards something, towards an ideal life, towards a different reality, to getting more freedom, to having some financial flexibility, whatever those goals might be for them. And the reason that I am really, really passionate about that is because I think that as mums, we are absolutely the center of the family. What I found through my journey, and I've done blogs and things like that on my story, so I won't go into it too much here, but certainly I struggled after both of my girls were born, and with the second I ended up with postnatal depression, and it was a really tough time. But looking back on that, what I realized was when I was having a bad day, my entire family had a bad day. And I also know enough about myself to know that fulfilled looks like a whole bunch of things going on in my life, one of which is using the skills that I have in business. And so what I look to do now is help women, help mums be able to do that, be able to figure out what that full picture of themselves looks like and how their business fits into that. And then my skill set is in helping them grow that business. But the outcome that I'm looking for is in helping you feel more fulfilled, feel more confident, be more balanced, and be making conscious choices in your life that you're happy with. Because at the end of the day, if you're achieving all of that, then you're happier and you're calmer and you're in a better place when you are in the mum role of your life. And that has a positive impact for your entire family. So that's my passion. This is my mission. I genuinely want to help women step up to be CEOs in their businesses, be empowered to make differences and not just end up in that employee role. So the thing is, your business can be absolutely thriving, and you've already got the skills to do that. You just need some massaging and some help to get you there. So that's a little bit about me. And you can see in the background there my two beautiful girls, whom I absolutely adore. So, as I mentioned, this challenge is all about learning a simple system, and it's about regular, reliable results, and it's scalable and it's repeatable. And that's why I wanted to deliver this content to you, and I hope you've gotten a bunch of value out of it this week. So as we kind of recap, we went through day one. So this was about setting your profit purpose. What we had you do was set an intention for every profit dollar that you're going to earn. So be specific, be time-bound, be measurable. Those were most of the things that were coming up as we were kind of working through the profit intentions that you had put into the group. And the main objective here is for you to be truly committed to the outcome and truly committed to doing what it's going to take to actually hit that revenue goal. If you arbitrarily assign a number, you're going to let yourself off the hook and you're not going to do what it's going to take to hit the goal. And then the net result of that is usually we end up beating ourselves up a bit about it. And so I would love to get some thumbs up or some likes or some comments if you feel like you were able to nail on a profit purpose that was really impactful for you. Do you feel more committed to your goal now that you've been through that first step of the exercise? All right. And I will see those come through in just a second. And I will move on. There we go. Melissa is commenting, and hopefully we've got a few more people jumping on as well. Definitely. Awesome. That's great. Thank you, Melissa. So then we moved into day two, which was about defining your focus product. So this was where we started with understanding your ideal client. And I think what most of you probably realized is that is harder than we think it is. You can understand your ideal client kind of to this level, but there are actually all of these different layers under there that you can really get to, and that's where the difference maker is for you and your business. Getting into that extra levels of detail with understanding your clients. And I think the biggest barrier here is not actually understanding them. It's getting over that fear of being too specific. You cannot be, hey, Katrina, how are you going? You cannot be too specific with your ideal client. It doesn't mean that other people won't buy your product. So I have bought products from coaches where I am not their ideal client. I'm not a millennial, or they might be targeting men or people in a particular industry, but they've had something that has just been perfect for what I wanted to learn at that particular point in time. So I bought their product, even though I knew that I wasn't their ideal client. And there are thought leaders that I follow where I don't absolutely love all of their messages. They don't resonate with me the way they speak, but sometimes some of the things that they say are absolutely gold. And so I keep following them. I just filter through. So your clients are doing that as well. So you're not excluding yourself from buyers by getting super specific on your ideal client. But what you are doing by getting really specific, and that's what we got into with the core problem, is you're enabling your message to be absolutely 100% on target. So that was what the key thing that I wanted you to take away from day two. Getting down to that real core problem that you're helping them with. And not just the surface problem, not just it becomes a little bit, I can't even think of the word that I want to say, but it's, are you overwhelmed? Are you feeling anxious? Are you blah, blah, blah? Take it deeper. What is the problem that is resulting for them? Maybe they're feeling overwhelmed by their admin, but actually the thing that is a problem for them right now is, I don't know where I can find all of my invoices, and that's causing me a problem because I can't manage my cash flow. I don't know how I can invest, and I don't know how much more money I need to be making. And so their anxiety is actually related way more to a business results situation than it is not being able to manage their admin. Can you see the differential between those two? That's where we wanted to get to around that focused product, because what you want your product to be able to do is solve the thing that's causing that problem, but you need to be speaking to the problem. So you are selling them what they want and giving them what they need. The other thing we talked about was making sure that it is something that you love. Don't try and sell a focused product that you really don't enjoy delivering, because you frankly won't convert anybody anyway. All right, now, day 3, we were getting real about numbers. So this is about pricing your product and service right. Again, it does come back to being really comfortable with the pricing that you're putting out there and feeling like you're getting rewarded for the effort that you're putting in, and knowing how many sales you need to make. So we were looking at, once you've priced your product, doing a quick calculation to say, okay, if this is how much I want to make, this is my financial goal, this is the price of my focus product, therefore this is the number of widgets that I need to be selling. If that is $1,097 product, then that looks like 11 widgets, was the example that we used and that you've got in your training materials. And then finally, working out how many people you need to get in front of with your offer, which some of you commented was that it was, hey Annette, how you going? It was higher than you were expecting it to be. Some people find that really intimidating. I think that if you can get to a point of thinking about your numbers as a gift, then that can be a really empowering place to be, because you can get intimidated by the fact that you need to get in front of 500 or 1,000 people with your offer. So not just randomly in front of them with random marketing material, but actually offering your offer to them. But I don't see it that way, because that means that I have a target. I know I can say, okay, I know exactly how many people I need to get in front of to hit the conversion rates that I want to. And, you know, you can impact those conversion rates too. The more specific that you get about your ideal client's problem and nailing that messaging, which we'll get into in a second, the more you're going to speak right to it and have them going, heck yes, that is exactly what I need. Sign me up. And so that's where you want to be. And I saw, Annette, you said you think you need to adjust your conversion rate to 1%. Can you pop in there for me why you think that is? And I will come back to that in a bit, because that may relate back to your confidence in how you're presenting yourself as well. So we'll come back to that question at the end, if that's okay. All right, day 4, this was yesterday, and this was all about crafting impactful messages. And what I asked you to do with day 4 was to really get yourself into that perspective of the emotions that surround the purchase. And if you were on live with us, you would have heard me walk you through like a little exercise of how you feel when you're purchasing something. And so an example of that was, and I'm going to use my lipstick, and I'm probably talking an inordinately excessive amount about my new lipstick, but I haven't bought myself a new lipstick for possibly a couple of years. I haven't really been wearing it. I actually went through a stage where I wasn't really wearing very much makeup at all. That was related a lot to my PND. And when we moved, I made a conscious decision that I was going to, you know, wear more makeup. So buying this lipstick on the weekend was actually pretty significant for me. And I felt empowered. I felt strong. I felt brave, because it's red's, you know, not a fading flower kind of color to buy. I felt excited. I felt more powerful. When I wear this kind of color, I feel like I look really nice. And that's most of the point, isn't it? It's how you feel about how you look. And so, you know, this is only one little tube of lipstick. I think it cost me $29. And I love that it's a natural product. And so I'm feeling really great about that. And so the emotions that surround the purchase of that lipstick for me, it actually plays into my self-confidence. It plays into a long-standing issue that has been in place for me that I didn't even realize was still there. It wasn't until I made the decision to go, yep, I'm actually going to do that I realized how far I've come in that recovery journey. That's pretty profound kind of emotions to be having around a tube of lipstick. And so that's what we were playing with. Understand how your ideal client feels about your product and how it's going to solve their problem. I got completely distracted. I'm going to come back to those comments in a second. And how they feel when it's solved for. Okay? So that's not about how they feel when you are delivering your product or service to them. It's about how they feel when their problem is resolved. Two different things. And then the other thing that you want to build into your message is you're talking about the outcomes and benefits for them, not the features. Sell them what they want, give them what they need. All right. Because my target market is people that are considering their first VA and they may be thinking they can't afford it. Yeah, interesting. All right, I'm going to come back to that at the end if that's okay, ladies, because I do have some thoughts on that, but I don't want to lose the train of getting into Day 5's content. Awesome. All right. Okay, so let's dive into Day 5 then. Finding your marketing mojo. Has anybody had a chance to check out the training yet? If you have, make sure you pop a comment in and let me know. And let me know if you started thinking about this at all. Now, this is one of the spaces in business where I talk about superpowers. And people think that, actually, I have no idea what people think. I haven't asked them. But I am not going to stop using the word because I genuinely believe that when you find the place that is your marketing happy place. So, and I think I've talked about this week. I love going live. It's heaps of fun. I really enjoy being able to interact with you guys. I'm an introvert, so being able to do live things like this is actually perfect for me because I can do it from the comfort of my, well, actually this is a guest bedroom, but my desk is in here. This is the office of my empire. And so that's great. I get that blend between, my comfort zone and putting myself out there in a way that seems to relate pretty well to people. So I consider going live to be my marketing superpower. Not least of which because I love doing it and I don't find it hard. So there will be something for you that you are great at. Maybe you absolutely love writing. Maybe you love presenting. Maybe being in front of people and doing those kinds of things, presenting at meetup groups or networking functions and things like that and doing guest presenter spots. Maybe that's your happy place. Maybe you're really, really good at Pinterest. Maybe you are fabulous at getting blogs that convert people really, really well and pulling them together and the visual elements. There is something that you are great at, and you need to find that and make that the cornerstone of your marketing strategy. Because as mums in business, we don't have excessive amounts of time. And there are lots of different ways that you can go about putting your marketing strategy together. But essentially, you want to have two things in place. The first one is your long-term visibility strategy, and that's where your marketing superpower comes into play. Something that you show up and do consistently week after week that adds value to your audience, whatever that might look like. Now, I do it in training, but I'm a business coach, and that's the sorts of things that my audience are looking for from me. They want valuable tips. They want to understand different ways they can implement different strategies in their business. If you have a natural makeup products business, then people might not want to watch a lot of lives. Maybe they're just really happy following along on your feed where you're telling them, tidbits about how to get more out of your makeup products or how to better improve your skin, or educating them about, the benefits and impacts of using different types of products and those sorts of things. I love essential oils, and I follow a group. And the lady who runs the group pops in there regularly different recipes and things like that. And I love following that. I very rarely watch her lives because I get what I need from her posts, which have different diffuser recipes. So that what I'm saying there is tailor it to your audience and the type of service or product that you provide to them. Know where your ideal client hangs out. And what this is about is, again, part of that, well, both parts of your strategy, actually. That long-term part, you want to make sure that you are, I got distracted again, sorry. You want to make sure that you are doing that and showing up in the place where they are. So if they're on Facebook, get a Facebook marketing strategy. If they're really on Instagram, then you need to start doing something on that platform. What I will say is pick one, maybe two, especially when you're starting out, and put your energy into perfecting that, and then add stuff to it. And if you really hate a platform, and hate is probably not the right word to use, but if you really don't like being on there, don't try and make that a core part of your strategy, because you will not do it. So I know that Pinterest is amazing for building traffic, and I went through all the work to set it up, and I have strategized my profile and all of that kind of stuff, but I really hate scheduling pins. And so I got it all done and got some really great traction until I realized how much I didn't like going through that bulk scheduling process, and it kind of lay dormant until I got to a point where I brought someone on to help me to do that, and now I'm engaged in Pinterest again. That's what I mean. If you pick something that you really don't enjoy, you won't stick with it and you won't get the results. So the second part of your strategy that you need to be considering is the bit that directly relates to this challenge, and that is your sell. So how are you getting your offer in front of them? So what you need to do with your challenge action today is work out how you're going to do that. So as part of the stuff that you're doing consistently and building traffic, are you making posts? Are you contacting people? Do you have an email list? Are you going to be emailing out to them? Are you going to run a webinar? If not, why not? Is that the right thing? Challenge yourself where you think that there's something that you could be doing that could make a really big impact, but you're feeling a bit nervous about it, and just check in whether you're letting the nerves help you decide not to do it, when in actual fact it might be really impactful. And so select out, and I think I put a list of things in that training for you, so that it's a laundry list. There are lots more ways that you could be doing things, and if you've got great ideas, pop them in the group, please, so that other people can benefit from your inspiration as well. But make sure that you map it out. Now, I like to, in fact, I do actually have it here. I didn't realise I did. Look at that. I should pretend that I was super organised. Now, what you can do, I love drawing things. And so when I'm doing a launch, I draw it out, and I literally, like, this is from Kmart. I bought myself some coloured Sharpies. I'm a consultant. I can't help myself. I love coloured pens. And I literally draw it out, because I find that if I schedule it online, I don't get it into my head. I don't kind of get that visual, how is this? Oh, wait, if I do that, then I want to be doing this a week later. You know, have you got things scheduled out each day? What are you talking about? You can pop in here, okay, I'm going to talk about, 5 different topics each day, something like that. So doing it visually is a great way of doing it as well. And so if you love a bit of an arts and crafts session, then make sure that you do that. And if you do it for today's challenge, please put a photo up. I would absolutely love to see your marketing calendars. But that is how you're going to hit your results, because you're going to say, okay, this is where I am, this is what I'm selling, this is my end goal, I need to be in front of this many people, this is how I'm going to do it, and you literally map it out and then you execute on it. All right, let me know if you've got questions there. I am just going to run back through. Oh, hey, Patricia. I thought you had a girl date. I hope that it's still on. And it's streamlined and automated. Live still scare you. Oh, I love going live. Just rip the Band-Aid off, darling, until we get used to it. And arts and crafts. Yeah, I know. I'm glad I'm not on my own with the whole stationery thing. All right. So let me check in for a second. First off, I think I did put this into the training today. None of you will hit your goals unless you actually put these things into action. And so what I've asked you to do, just read out aloud with me right now. Hey, Gracious, how you doing? Read out aloud with me right now and say, Nick, I promise to go and implement this plan in my biz today, and I am going to get massive results. And if you say that out loud, listen to yourself and actually allow yourself to believe it. I know though I know exactly how you feel, Trisha. I know exactly how you're feeling, and I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that some of you are thinking, well, this has all been great and I've learnt a lot, but I don't really believe that I'm going to be able to hit these goals. So if I can get some reactions from you as you're listening to these, I would love to know where your heads are actually at, because this is the stuff that's the difference maker. So what about this? This feels like a lot of work. How am I going to do this regularly in my business? How do I actually scale this? If I had to get in front of 900 people to sell $1,000 worth of profit, how on earth am I going to scale that? Let me know if you're feeling like that. How am I going to get to bigger results in my business? Maybe that's something that's resonating with you. And I don't believe that my business is scalable. Or I feel like I've got a process, but I don't really know where to start. So let me know how those are kind of resonating for you. Which one, Ali? Which one? Because I know that these can be really the things that get in the way between you and actually realizing results. Feels like a lot of work. Yeah. Why don't you feel like you can start today? Let me know. It's about having a streamlined system in place for your business. And what I'm talking about is what you need to grow is you need to have a simple implementation system. You need to know what the next step is. And you need to know how to just do those 5% activities, those things that are actually adding value and growth to your business and helping you maintain momentum, and letting the rest go. Because one of the things that's causing your overwhelm is trying to do all the things. It's actually impossible to do that, especially as a mum in business. We have so many roles going on in our lives that we can't see around. You can't see the forest for the trees, you know, that whole thing kind of going on. It's partly about developing confidence. So tapping into that unique skill, the things that differentiate you, that help you become an expert in your niche, without letting self-doubt hold you back. How many of you have been in that position or are in that position right now where you know a bunch of stuff, but you feel like that gnawing, kind of sensation in your gut where you're not 100% sure that people are going to listen to you, or that you can speak with absolute confidence about your topic, even though you believe it passionately. The other thing you need to do is you need to be able to grow your foundations really quickly, and you need to know exactly what to focus on up front for maximum impact and income. And so knowing where to focus is absolutely key, and it is completely different for everybody. And the other thing that you really do need is a community of business besties. Do not try to do business by yourself. As you guys will have seen, it's almost impossible to do it by yourself. You get overwhelmed and just can't keep up with the stuff that's going on, and you get stuck inside your head. And I can say that with absolute confidence because I have been there. It's not a good place to get to, and it's really hard to grow from that place. So Conflicted to Confident is my course. This is absolutely, let me just first off say, the best time to be a mum in business. Entrepreneurialism is absolutely going gangbusters right now. Online business, there are a myriad of different business models that you can be following. What that means though is that did you know there are 500 million, 500 million businesses starting every single month? Now, don't freak out, because 90% of those will fail within the first 12 months. And of the ones that survive, 90% of the others will fail the second 12 months. So how do you stand out from the crowd? How do you stick with it? How do you find that path through. That's something that I've been really studying and really paying a lot of attention to. And most of you know that I have a failed business in my past. I have plenty of lessons to learn from. And I've taken a completely different approach with starting my coaching business this year. And it has blown me away how I've been able to get results quickly. So in this course, this is an online course, but I have a heavy coaching element associated with it. And what I've done is poured all of my learnings into the course. And you will probably know that 90% of succeeding in business is actually mindset, but who wants to do a mindset course? So what I've done is I take you step by step through how to create and grow your business and change your mindset as you go. And so we set down the foundations. As you work through each module, you are working on your business as you go through and growing. Because I want you to be sure that you aren't still struggling month to month in 12 months' time. You want to have a business that is thriving, and you want to have a clear line of sight to how that revenue is going to grow. And I'm so passionate about helping people do that. Now, it's clear, like the reasons for growing a thriving business, they are absolutely a no-brainer. And anybody who's done any kind of visualization or vision boarding or your ideal life, or even just looking at the marketplace, you know that the market works, the business model works, but the process to get there is super hard. And you need people in your corner to help you with that. And so what I've done is designed Conflicted to Confident as an A to Z business implementation plan. So you want to confidently get to those income results that you're looking for and set the foundations for a business that's scalable and going to be able to grow with you and grow with you quickly without just taking more of your time. Because one of the things that I have actually found in working with my clients over the last 8 months is a lot of them get to a point, they might get their business thriving and they've got a really solid revenue line coming in, but they're exhausted because they're stuck in this time for dollars exchange and they haven't built a way to scale their business. You want leverage in there. You want to be able to sell one product and help many people, or do 1 hour of work and have that multiply out in terms of the revenue that comes in. As a mum, it's not possible to scale your business by increasing the time, not if you still want to be able to be present, and not if the outcome that you're looking for is more time to be with your kids. So it is modular. There are 6 modules. I'll give you a bit more detail on that in the next couple of slides. There are short videos that go with each of the lessons within each of the modules, workbooks for you to fill out. The first iteration of Conflicted to Confident, actually Annette was in it and is still working through her content. We've got live coaching calls happening at the moment. And so I did all of that training live. So those live training recordings are also in there. You get access to all of those as well as the pre-recorded ones, and a personal online learning portal. I'm very excited. Actually, I'm disproportionately excited about that bit because I figured out how to set that up properly last night. Previously, I've just sent people their membership site and it just looks so pretty. I'm a bit excited. All right, so the 6 modules. I have a process. The Conflicted to Confident process covers these 6. The first 5 are really critical. And what I did was, as I went through that journey of self-discovery and coming back from anxiety and postnatal depression and figuring out how to be a director in a Big 4 consulting firm, which is frankly not a little role, and still be a really present mum and be confident and then build a business on the side. I still have that directorship role, and I couldn't be actually, frankly, I couldn't be anything but a blubbering mess in the corner if I hadn't figured this out for myself. And so this is a process I take my clients through. So balance is learning about connection. You need to have a business that you are really connected to and know what drives you in life, in business, know where your motivation is, know what you're working towards, but also make sure that you bring that right back to your business purpose. What is the purpose? What is the impact? What is the foundational piece of why your business exists? Then we move into believe, wait, I've got these around the wrong way. Connect is the first one. Balance is the second one. Balance is when you looking at what you can actually handle, what's important, how do you find more time back, how do you stop doing the things that you don't want to be doing because they're actually not part of your plan, but you don't feel like you can say no. And how do you design your business? And this is where the business model bit comes in. What's your balance? Where have you got passive products versus active delivery products in? What along that scale looks right for you in terms of the products and services that you're providing? How is that going to change from year to year? And we go through and we design that and help you put that in place. Define and believe. Those ones are about defining your success. So what does success actually look like for you? I found that both in my business and in my career, I had to redefine what success looked like, and I had to make space for what I found made me feel successful as a mum, and then find a place where I didn't feel like I was missing out on stuff when I had to say no or wanted to say no, was choosing to say no, and being able to shift your headspace around that is really important in things in my career or in my business, because the balance is really important and defining success is important. And that also takes you into what does that mean for your brand? So what does your perfect successful brand look like? How are you getting your message out there? A brand is not just about the visual elements. It is about so much more than that, and we build that together. We also look at your belief, your limiting beliefs, getting rid of those, tapping into your resistance. How do you get over those things? And how do you really start to believe about what is possible for your business? And then finally, we start to go through how you step up to be the CEO in your business. So how are you going to learn to practice that art of self-confidence? How are you going to know what type of CEO you need to be? And honestly, your business will not grow unless you actually step up to that person right now. And so what does that mean? And how do you do that? How do you shout from the rafters about your business? How do you get a perfect marketing strategy in place? We touched on it in the challenge. There's only so much you can do when I'm trying to give you a task that you can do in an hour a day around getting a marketing plan in place. But we go into a lot more detail around what that looks like and get you set up doing your consistent activity that builds your tribe every single day. And finally, we bring it all together, because what you've got now is a strategy for your business growth. You've got your marketing plan laid out and you're working on executing it. You know what your business model is. You know what success looks like. You are stepping up and really shedding those limiting beliefs. And then you are setting goals. So we talk about goal setting. We go through my goal setting process, which is a little bit different, but I find that it helps me set goals that I really stick to. And 90-day planning. And we also look at your money mindset and your success mindset and how those things can all play together to give you this really solid business. Now, that isn't everything. What I want to do is make sure that Conflicted to Confident comes to you as a package, so that it's an implementation program. It's not just a training program. So that's where the Conflicted to Confident student community comes in. Now, that's a private Facebook group just for our students. I do live training in there, and we do a live Q&A session every week, which means that you can come on with your questions and work through with myself and the other people in the course, because there are some amazing people who are part of this course and have been learning as they've gone along, and you get that one-on-one interaction. That's the Conflicted to Confident student community. The second bonus that you get, now this is exclusive access. I don't believe in creating lots of different courses that you sell. I have a signature program, and then when I identify things that my students need, I build that. And that's what we're doing with How to Create Products That Convert. Because what I'm noticing more and more is that people really struggle to get down like really deep with their ideal client and the core product, a core problem that you're solving for them, and how they get their solution sorted, and learning storytelling. Like there's a whole world of marketing messaging out there that you can tap into when you learn how to do storytelling properly. And so I teach all of that inside How to Create Products That Convert. And so that is a course that you get as well as Conflicted to Confident. And then finally, I've added in a bonus module, which is around the complete guide to mastering money management. Because one of the other things that I have found as I've worked through with my clients is they're not comfortable with their numbers. And I just think your business is trying to tell you something. I worked with a client last year actually, and she hadn't done her numbers. We finally got her to do her numbers from the preceding year, and it turned out she had made $2,000 profit. That was it. And by making a few really small changes in her business, she was able to significantly increase the profit margin that she was making. And then she added a leveraged product into the mix. And honestly, the last time we checked her numbers, and interestingly, this is where mindset plays in, I couldn't get her to do her 6-month numbers. Like it took me weeks to get her to sit down and map it out because she was too scared to see how things were performing. Now, if I didn't know on a month-to-month basis how my business was going, I'd be racked with anxiety, but that's just me. But what she found was that from her previous year where she had made $2,000 profit, she was looking down the barrel of a $50,000 profit 6 months into her new business year. And all she did was change some of the expenses that she had, well, actually take control of her expenses and add some leverage products. It was a phenomenal result. And so I've added that in here because I really want you to get comfortable with knowing what your business is trying to tell you. It's not complex. I've kept it as simple as I possibly can for you, but just it walks you through the stuff you need to be tracking. All right, so the pricing, because really this is what you guys want to know. Now, normally Conflicted to Confident is $19.97, but I really want it to be affordable and something that my students can easily access. So I'm not selling it at that price, I'm selling it at $9.97. I also know that you probably have enrolled in a bunch of different courses and have spent a bunch of money, or maybe that's just me. I am a little bit of an online course junkie. So I know what good looks like, and I know what not so great looks like, and I know where I've regretted spending the money. And so what I do is I am giving a 60-day money back guarantee. Now you can go through the whole course in that time. And there's a little caveat on that. I'm not just going to give you your money back if you haven't done the work, because the course will not get you results unless you do the work. But it is a money back guarantee. If you can show me and have worked through with me how to get results, and it's just not working for your business, I will give you your money back, because I don't think that it's fair for us to sit in this business world that exists right now and not be able to, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right to take someone's money when it's something that's genuinely not going to work for their business. So that's what that 60-day money back guarantee is all about. Now, I do also have a payment plan because I know that it can be hard to come up sometimes with $1,000 for a product. And so if that is your preference, I have the 6 payment plan, which is $197 a month. So what that means is that you can sign up today and get full access to the entire program for only $197 today. So it's a 20% saving if you pay in full. But if that's not something that is going to work for you and your business, then I have the flexibility of the option. Now, for today, because I really have loved working with you guys, and I know that only some of you were going to be able to get onto the call today, there is a fast action bonus. Now, this is just available until close of business today in Australian time. So it is now, what is the time? It is 1:45 in the afternoon. That means there are 3 hours that this bonus is available for, and that is a free 90-minute strategy call with me. Now, I don't do one-off strategy sessions. Actually, I don't do very much one-on-one coaching at all. I'm very specific about how I take people on, simply because of the time. I really respect my time. So this is something that is not available very often. But if you were to talk to people like Annette, I don't know if you know Anna Black, Jess Kate, all of these guys have got testimonials that I will pop up in the group for you to say that we can get a heck of a lot done in 90 minutes. And it also means you might get halfway through the course and get really stuck on something. You don't have to use the strategy call straight up. You can keep it in your back pocket and say, okay, Nick, right, I'm at the point where I've got my marketing strategy. I really need to get down and strategize how that's going to work with you. Grandma was picking up your daughter. Melissa, yeah, absolutely. I will get into that in just a second. The free 90-minute strategy call is just for people who sign up between now and 5 o'clock today. So you've got 3 hours to do that one. So how do I can hear you all clamoring. How do you join? There is a sales page link up on the screen right now. And what I will do is, if someone could type that into, Annette, can you type that into the comments for me, please, so that people can click on it? That would be fabulous. So you don't need to give yourself permission to do this. One of the things that I've found when I've been talking to people about coaching is they feel like they need an email list before they can invest in their business. They feel like they might need a social following that's a certain size. They feel like their business might need to be ready for them to be full-time in it before they can invest in a platform or a foundational program that just helps them get exactly what they need and know what their growth looks like. You don't need to do that. In fact, there is actually no point in time, and I say this from personal experience, painful personal experience, there is no point in time where you are ready or where your business is ready. Because one of the things that I have learned, and actually it's something that I've learned more recently than I care to admit, is that my business will not grow unless I step up before it gets there. And that has been an absolute difference maker for me in my business, in getting Conflicted to Confident off the ground, having the detail that goes into it sorted. Thank you, Annette. That's awesome. So this is what this looks like. You have a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you know that you can get your money back if it doesn't work for your business. But what if it does? What if you do start to get on top of those mindset issues? What if you do start to see results? What if you are able to shed some of the noise that's holding you back from really progressing? What if you're able to figure out finally exactly who your ideal client is? How impactful would that be? And can you really afford to wait? So to recap on your question, Melissa, and that is actually, I think what we're doing, yes it is, next is answering your question. So I would love, please, please, please ask questions. If you're feeling hesitant, tell me why. If you are curious but have absolutely no intention of buying, that's great too. I would still love to answer your questions because that might clarify things for somebody else where this would be the right thing for them. So you get Conflicted to Confident. That is the online course. You get your very own learning portal, and within that you have access to all of the challenge materials. Conflicted to Confident, which is the 6 modules. There's over 30 videos and workbooks in there. There are extra reference materials. You get access to the private student community where we do live Q&A sessions every week. So I do that every single week, which means you get access to group coaching via the Facebook Live forum on a weekly basis, which is really powerful for keeping you moving. And I don't know about you, but also accountable. So when I know that I've got something coming up that I need to be ready for, then that actually keeps me moving. It's part of the reason why I keep my business coach around, because I know I have to get the stuff done by the next time I talk to her, because she's going to ask me about it. And if you join today, you also get that free 90-minute strategy call, as well as that, the complete guide to mastering money management, which is the bonus module, and then exclusive access to my brand new program. Now, this first module for this program, How to Create Products That Convert, will drop at the end of August. Now, the reason for that is twofold. One is I am still finalizing the details on that, but the second is I actually think it's more important that you get through the first couple of modules of Conflicted to Confident before you get yourself distracted. And so it's very deliberate timing in that regard. And then we will be going through conflicted to confident, and also then how to create products that convert. And so that will take you through your ideal client, how you map them out, using visualization techniques to do that, using some fun stuff that's a bit different to demographics, getting into their core problem, market research. Does anybody love market research? I don't love market research, but what I did do was figure out which types of research are most impactful and how to get results out of it. There's a whole module on market research coming in there, as well as designing your offer. So how do you build your perfect offer? How do you perfect your messaging around that? And how do you get it out into the market? So that is a huge amount of value. Melissa, no problem at all. Let me just scroll back through. Have I answered enough for you, the ongoing support piece? Do you want some more detail there? Okay. What time are the calls weekly? Now, I can be flexible on that. I know that time zones are an issue. At the moment, the calls are on Mondays at 1 o'clock Australian Eastern Standard Time. So that's the same time essentially as this call today, but on a Monday. Depending on the student group that we get in, I'm prepared to flex that up a little bit to help it work for people, or I can do an evening call as an option. So, but at the moment, it is Mondays at 1 p.m. And then the recording stays up in the group for you to be able to catch the replay. Hey, Renee, how you going? Annette, do you want to give us a little bit of a reflection on your experience with conflicted to confident? And I have something that I'm going to share with you right here that our good friend Jess Mannion, sent through to me today. And she said, I'm halfway through the course and loving it. I'd normally skim through courses in setting the foundations, but I really want to set the foundations well this time, and conflicted to confident certainly goes deep quickly with the value. I finally feel like I'm getting a solid picture of where I'm going and what I'm doing, and I highly recommend this course for anyone starting out in business. I would have put that on a slide, but she literally sent it to me just as I was going live. So that Jess has been in her business in several iterations for a couple of years. She's a counsellor, a families counsellor, and she's moving from just doing face-to-face counselling to having an online business as well, and working with mums and helping them get better outcomes by managing their emotions and anger and how they're dealing within their family environment. And so that's a big shift for her in terms of being able to figure out what that looks like. All right. Any other questions coming through, guys? I will jump back while you're all having a quick look at the question that Annette asked earlier. Here we are. Because my target market is people that are considering their first VA, and so they may be thinking that they can't afford it, therefore more people would be better. Yes. That is one way to look at it. However, if we understand the problem that they have really specifically, and you can use me as an example here, Annette is my VA, everybody, she's fabulous. What I found was that I had gotten to a point where I couldn't grow unless I outsourced. And so it's a balance. And what you need to do is help your ideal client understand the value of getting help before they think they're ready. And actually, if you do any research online, looking at other business coaches, some of them are a bit scammy, but find someone who's reputable when you're doing this research. You will see 99% of them will say you need to invest in outsourcing and assistance before you're ready in order for your business to grow. And that is also part of stepping up to CEO. And we do talk about that in Conflicted to Confident, actually. You know, how do you outsource and what does that look like, and when is it right for your business? So that's something I think, Annette, that you need to think about with your messaging. Think about it. Go back to the messaging that you did yesterday, and I saw that you popped that in after I had gone through, so I'll have a look at that today for you as well. But really think about that. How do you show them that you're going to help them grow, because they're going to be able to focus in a completely different way in their business if they outsource this chunk of stuff. Ali Sugars, Ali, you were agreeing with that, and we were talking about earrings. I probably won't spend too much time on that. Lives, Sharpies. Welcoming Patricia. Going in cycles. Yes, I can do this to who am I to be able to sell stuff? Katrina, I hear you. That was actually one of the biggest things that stopped me from succeeding in my last business, because I didn't have the courage to put myself out there as somebody who knew more than someone else. So let me put this to you in a different way. If you are great at making scones, or if you are great at knitting, and somebody else doesn't make great scones or can't knit a scarf, would you feel self-conscious about showing them how to do that? Just reflect on that a little bit. One of the things that I learned early in my coaching career, actually in my consulting career, is that you are qualified to teach somebody who is half a step or a step behind you. And so your experience is more than what they have. And it is different, and you will speak about things in a different way. So there are other business coaches out there who talk about very similar things to what I talk about, but you guys are listening to me because the way that I message resonates. I'm a mum as well. I get you. You know, you think I'm in a really fancy room here, but you can't see the toys that are all over the bed behind me, or the cut up paper that's all over the floor because my girls spent yesterday playing at my feet while I was working and preparing for today's session. I get what it's like. And so that's why you connect with me. And it's exactly the same with you and your ideal client. And so there are things about you that makes you be the ideal person to help them with their issue. And if you're going to flip that around then and go, okay, well, if I don't put myself out there, then they're not going to get the benefit of my assistance. And that is something that is sad, really, because you could have a really profound impact on somebody. I mean, who doesn't need perfect scones? That's probably a superfluous example now that I've gone this deep on it, but you are the perfect person to help your ideal client. And finding a way for you to feel comfortable with doing that is really one of the difference makers in your confidence. I found in my consulting career that literally all I had to do was read an article, and there would be some partner or some director somewhere when I was a junior team member to go, great, you're now an expert on that. I'm going to put you on an engagement at $1,500 a day, and you need to deliver value to that client. So I learned very quickly how to exhibit confidence that I maybe didn't feel, but have faith in my ability to deliver a message and help people get to a different outcome. And that's what you're doing too. And we go through a lot of that in Conflicted to Confident, because there is so much mindset stuff sitting around that. And how can I find that many people? Yeah, Katrina, that is why you need two prongs to your marketing strategy. You need the spine of your strategy, which is your superpower executed every week, that starts to build your profile and your following, and people start to look for you. And then you throw in your marketing activities as you go. It will grow. It will also take time. And I think part of the problem with the online marketing world right now is that there are so many people out there going, I can take you to 5 figures a month in, 30 days. And honestly, I think it's a load of hogwash, and I actually think it's really irresponsible for people to do that. That's why I haven't talked about my financial results today. I have a sustainable business and I have regular results coming in, but it's not fair for me to put that on you in terms of the expectations that you have of your own business, because everybody's business journey is different, and you are you are in the absolute perfect place for you and your business right now. Don't let anybody tell you that that's not the case. That doesn't mean you're going to stay there for long. And in fact, you might only be there for a really short time, but there's a reason that you're there, because there's something that you need to learn right now that will help you move forward. Does that make sense? You're there now. Yeah, Patricia. It's hard though, when those really early days of business doesn't have to be hard, but it's sure as hell not easy. And so one of the things that I have found most helpful through my business growth journey is having the right people there by my side. I literally have not done one day of the business that I'm in right now without a business coach by my side, because I get so much value out of having them there and having someone hold me accountable and having someone to bounce ideas off and having someone to box me around the ears and go, Nick, you know that's a load of bogwash. You don't believe that about yourself. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Learn from what's just happened and take those learnings and make them into something powerful. And I've done the same thing in where I've strategically invested in courses. I am not interested in learning things the hard way. I don't have the time or the patience. And so where I identify a need in my business, I invest in somebody who I trust and I use their course. And that is how I got my business foundation sorted as well. So I think that is something to take on board. Hey, Teresa, I'm seeing you join here. We are answering questions. So if you've got any questions about the challenge, make sure to pop them in and have a scroll through the comments. What we're talking about right now is Conflicted to Confident, which is my course. It is a business foundations course, which is all about helping you set a really strong foundation for your business and get to a point where you've got a profitable and sustainable business as fast as you can. So what we've got up on the screen there is, and you can see me off to the side, I'm actually scrolling through the comments. Annette, I'm very much the same as Jess. Only difference is that I only started my business this year, halfway through. And since doing that even much, you have gained your second client. You are. And your confidence, Annette, was phenomenal. I think you said to me the other day that you found you're even coaching people in groups when you're connecting with people because so much is sunk in, and your confidence in how much you do actually know about business has just skyrocketed. And that is golden. That's, you can't pay for that and the impact that makes. So reluctant to put yourself out there as an expert. Yeah. The sticker backs on my lounge room floor. Oh, yeah, right. I was like, how is that relevant? No, I understand. Great. Natalie Alcock is here as well. All right, ladies, let me know if there are any more questions. And remember that free 90-minute strategy call. So that's a value of $400. I do not do these calls other than for my Conflicted to Confident students. I don't do one-off calls. Is only available for the next 3 hours. You have to buy it before 5 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. I was going to do it just while you're on the call, but I know that a heap of you want to grab the replay. So that's why I'm giving you 3 hours to access that bonus. And in addition, there is also the Conflicted to Confident student community. Now, that has a $997 value because I show up there every single week and we do a live Q&A session to help you get through all the challenges that you're seeing in your business. You also get exclusive access to a new course that I am creating at the moment. The first module drops at the end of August once you've had a chance to get through the first few modules of Conflicted to Confident about how to create products that convert. So that's about getting into the detail of your ideal client. And then also the complete guide to mastering your money management so that you can become a master of your numbers. And if there are any questions, just drop them into the group and let me know. That is the link to enroll. There are 2 ways to pay. This course is normally nearly $2,000, but I don't run it at that price because I want people to be able to afford it. And so if you pay in full, it's $997. That's a 20% saving. And if you would like to see a payment option, then that's $197 a month. So that means that you can join Conflicted to Confident today for $197 and get access to all of those bonuses. And really start to make a difference in your business. All right. Well, that's it from me today. Have a look at the sales page and pop your details in there. I cannot wait to have my next round of students joining me in the Conflicted to Confident group. And don't forget that there is a money back guarantee, a 60-day money back guarantee. So you need to prove to me that you've done the work. I don't think any course out there will get you results unless you actually do the work. But if you are doing the work and we've worked together and you're genuinely not seeing results in your business, then I will give you a full 100% money back refund. All right, ladies, thank you so much for your time. I am looking forward to having a look at your Marketing Mojo actions from today's day in the challenge. I am also going to go live tomorrow for a bonus Q&A session, so look out in your inbox for the details of that. There'll be a webinar link for you to join on that one. So I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. All right,